And also, I know just you must be really tired, so I'm gonna do my presentation as short as possible. Okay. So actually, I was a member of the BIM National Education Group in New Zealand, and also now I'm a member of the BIM Academy Forum in the UK. So I know just a bit about the kind of framework of BIM education in the UK, so I'm going to share that kind of information here. Hopefully it could work. That's why we need education, actually. So we need to understand what exactly it is and whether it is real, genuine, or fake. So before I just get into the topic, in particular for the BIM educations, we need to understand the kind of global construction industry as well. So do you know how big the construction industry is? Actually, 8.75 trillion US dollars. So based on 2012 statistics, so maybe you don't feel that way, I mean, how big that is. Like, that could be like 6 times bigger than Korean economy. So it's quite pretty big as well. And then 10 years time, it will double. So this figure is based on national statistics, which means if you're including informal market or black market, it could be more than this. And basically the States was the single biggest construction industry, the market, but it was taken over by China, actually. Then European countries, they are the second biggest kind of regional market as well, but China is getting bigger, even including other Asian countries as well. The UK is about 100 billion kind of pounds kind of market. It's 6 or 7% of the UK GDP. And this figure actually based on 2016, but now the people workforce is getting less and less. That we got a kind of, these days we say, don't say B word, it's a Brexit. So that's gonna be a really huge problem as well. So now we've got 2.4 million people working in the construction industry. Then we got a bit of problem and good things as well. It's a slightly increase every year, but still we are in shortage in terms of the number of the houses and the people, the workers, in particular high-skilled workers as well. So UK government, actually for the construction industry, they've done a lot of reports. So these are kind of main reports since 1950s. So almost every year they've got kind of governmental report as well. But interestingly, I mean, you might think the UK construction industry might be advanced, but not actually. I mean, if you look at this panel report, they urged and encouraged the construction industry to have contract standard, but they haven't used it until 1994, which is the last time report. So since then, they started using the standardized contract, such as NEC or JCT as well. But still, they have a lot of government reports as well. So always they're looking for a bit more productivity in the construction industry and doing something more from less. So that's kind of trend. But 2011, they've got recession 2009 and 10. Then what they've done, actually they were looking for some other way to improve the steel. So 2011, the UK government construction strategy, and they put like 10 action plans. The BIM was one of them. So they want to integrate all the information based on 3D modeling. So this is the one. So based on this, the 2011, they published it, and after 5 years that they mandated BIM. But you have to remember that one because only the project centrally procured. So it's a kind of gray area. Say we've got HS2 high-speed railway kind of project. It's multi-billion dollars projects. But you can think about the kind of mega project would be centrally procured, but not actually. So they've got all the pathway from London to Birmingham, Birmingham to Manchester, and each section owned by local authorities. So, but they're still adopting BIM because they've seen some of the benefits from those things. So other reporters still, they're talking about some other improvements. In particular in here, again, lower cost of 33%, but it's not on the capital investment. It's through the life cycle cost that they want to improve. But what about the BIM adoption in here? So Australia, they're doing good. I mean, with in particular Building Smart, and even Singapore is one of the fantastic country, in particular BIM adoption as well. The UK now, they just mandated, and also they've got all the standards and rules and specifications. In particular, PAS, which is a publicly available kind of specification. It's a free, but it will be becoming ISO international standard this year, which means you have to pay for that one. But I look at the draft, all the contents are more or less the same. So if you're interested in, look at the PAS 1192, all the series, then you can see all the contents. So just one thing I want to share that is the National Educational Framework for, in particular for BIM. So 14 universities across the country, and we've got the BIM Academic Forum. So in here, 2013, we've got such as the publication in here, embedding BIM within the targets, taught curriculum in here. But everyone struggle because you already set curriculum. So it's not easy to accommodate more different modules for these. But if you tweak a little bit, and some of the contents and knowledge as well, then you can apply so. So these are kind of level, they define it when they embrace this kind of the level for your curriculum. So I'm not gonna read it through because if you look at, just download this one, you can see all the different levels and contents as well. So actually we are in here, this is a absent. There's nothing there. Even the staff, they don't know, they haven't used it. Even myself, I left the construction industry 12 years ago. So it's hard to keep it up because I've never done it, I mean, real kind of BIM projects when I was in the industry. So it was quite hard for me, myself as well. I'm more or less in here. So you've got 3 different levels. So first you have to understand. So you get the knowledge. Then you have to apply it. That's the second level of your competence. And once you apply, then you'll get the experience as well as knowledge. So you've got the region-based kind of advice you can give. So important thing is the level 4, 5, 6. So level 4 would be equivalent to the university first year student in here. So level 5 would be the second year, and level 6 would be the final year. Because UK industry, UK education, we've got the 3 years rather than 4 years. But the key thing is, you have to deliver some of the BIM concept. So let the student understand, so they have to be aware of what it is. Then they can move on with some of the practical skills as well. So it took me, I'm a program director of the 3 different programs, and it took me 6 years actually to embrace 3 different modules by different level, 5, 6, and 4, 5, 6. So level 7 would be the master program, but I haven't applied it yet. So we have a lot of different domains. We're using it. So we all talk about interdisciplinary and teaching, technological. And my approach is, I'm trying to use a bit more online based, a bit more engagement with the industry. So we have, this recently we set, so BIM for construction for the first year student. So they are construction project management student, not the architect or not the engineers actually. But they learn it, what the BIM is. But in particular, we're using Autodesk product. So they learn the Revit, then they are able to use it to create a certain 3D model. And the second year, we've got BIM, Building Information and Digital Construction. In there, we actually bring all the knowledge application for BIM level 2. So we've got a partnership with the BIE, which is the British Research Establishment. So they've got all the contents. So we are using those contents as well. Then final year, we have like a 30 credit module, which means we run over 2 terms. We call it Construction Design and Costing and Scheduling Project. Actually, the students are given real project. Then they have to build a 3D model, and also they have to build bill of quantities and scheduling as well with the different technologies. So previously engineering drawing practice, something like this, that was there 50 years ago. So they learned like a 2D kind of plan. But now they're using 3D model. So this is the students' work. So after like a 4 weeks learning process, they just created this kind of 3D model. And then we're using this kind of content, so like a BIM approved at graduate level. So they meet all the requirements of the level 2 BIM as well. So this is a real project we're using for the final year student. So we've got a new student union. So we scan this kind of building and then give it to the student, and they have a group, and then they assign a different role. So the architect and construction manager and quantity surveyor and scheduler as well. So they're building this. So we're using 4 different kind of package. For the cost-wise, we're using CostX. And the scheduling, we're using 2 different ones, R-Star Power Project as well as the Synchro Pro. So that's quite working well, I think. So so now the industry, they're moving also because they're out there, they want to get trained as well. So aligned with different knowledge level for the education. So we recently built up kind of training, learning outcomes as well. Right. The BIM, if you think it is just mandated, so you do it, you're gonna fail. But like this guy, if the BIM is simply mandated, then you'll be in trouble, right? And even you're upset, doesn't work. So that's the end of the project, say. So you need to think about, it's gonna make your life easier. So you have authoring tools, right? And you've got analysis tool and sharings as well. So when I started my BIM journey like 7 years ago, I thought, yeah, I could use the one kind of platform, but it was not. So you have to use at least 6 or 5 kind of product, you have to use them in. So I'm gonna finish my presentation with one, hang on a minute. One video clip, hopefully it could work. I'm not sure. No, not this one. Not again. No. No. Okay. Maybe I think this one? No. Actually, I think I haven't got the one. Hang on a minute. I should have. Yeah, here we go. this is my house in New Zealand, and we're using drone. So before I just fly out this scanning kind of the roof, in this case, actually before that I flew the drone more than 100 times. So I was really confident. But what I've learned actually, oops. You see, I struck the ear. I was very embarrassed at the time. The reason why I shown this one, you know, we always learning something from the failure rather than success. So you got right to fail. Then, you know, don't be embarrassed, and then just share that one so that you can move on almost there. Okay? Thank you. That's the end of it.